All right, guys, and my name is Carnage, and we are back crafting with Carnage. So, today's episode, I actually kind of want to go back to the warehouse district. So, what I'd like to do is kind of have a firework factory. I'd like to have a place where, kind of like the Golden Carrot Factory, except that's right. I want all the fireworks. I want as many fireworks as possible. And I think in order to what's this? Okay. And I think what I want to do, I want to see if I get a little, see if I get up here a little bit. Kind of scope out our suite. See if we can scope out our blank canvas. So we'll get up top here. And so what I'm thinking is I want to see if I can get rid of this little ugly mountain right here. I probably want to keep maybe get it down to like this third step here. Just so we've got another little area where it's kind of like on, a mound. So it's not flat with this building, but it'll be a little close. And from there, I think I want to bring it back a little bit. I do want this one to be kind of, a little bit bigger than the ones I've done so far. We're going to have to get rid of this. It's fine. And maybe see if we could bring it over this area. Kind of see how much area we've got after we've cleaned this out. So I'm going to see if I can start there with just kind of terraforming this, of course, and just kind of just getting rid of it. So we're going to get rid of this, and we are going to be back. I don't know how long it's going to take. It's probably going to be a freaking minute. But we're going to start there, and we'll be back momentarily. All right, guys. So after about 3 days of tearing all this stuff down, we are finally ready to go and start figuring out our layout for this new factory. So the one thing that I'm thinking is, let's try to get a little bit higher up so we can see this. I wouldn't mind trying to get it, so we've got like our path over here. I'd like to add a path going around our tree factory a little bit, just to bring it back around, kind of give it its own little pathway with some other decorations and minor stuff. And then I'd almost like to have it tee off and kind of shoot this way, because I'd kind of like this building over on this side of this large plateau facing east. So what I want to start with here is knocking out this pathway and then seeing how big of a layout I want to do, because I want to give this building like I want to give it like a foundation. I don't want to just put it on grass. I kind of want to give it that more industrial look. I want to try to aim for as industrial as we can with this factory. So we'll have this pathway come around here. We'll have it kind of tee up this hill, and then we'll just shoot it inwards, and we'll see how that looks. So I need to go get my variations of deep slate, some cobblestone, andesite, mossy blocks. So we'll go grab a few shulkers of that. We'll come back, we'll slap our little pathway down, and we'll see where we're sitting. Okay, so went ahead and got that out of the way. Got our little pathway finished up here. I think it looks nice. So what I want to do now is see if I can't extend this pathway up here to what I hope is going to be the entrance of the new factory. Now, I had to turn off my shaders because the render distance wasn't far enough to maybe show y'all what's going on. So I think I'm going to try to have the front door be somewhere around here. And so that way I can kind of encompass a good bit of this area. I think I'm going to go a little too big with this factory, but I kind of want it to be a staple. It's going to be fireworks. You gotta go hard for fireworks. So I'm going to grab see if I can grab some bright colored blocks and start mapping out. Or I'll grab some stone. I'll see if I can map out where I want the actual base to go. And then we'll start filling it in with some of this, some of this cobblestone variants. I can start cleaning it up, give us a good platform or a good clear palette to work with. So I'm going to see if I can figure out how big I want this thing to be. All right, so this is kind of like the platform that I'm thinking of for this factory. It's a little big, a little flyover. It's a little big, but I think it's going to work. So what I want to do now is see if I can't figure out where I want like the front gate to be, because I feel like what would be kind of cool, or at least different, is to add like a little guard gate, little guard shack, and then we'll just throw some mob in there. Throw like a zombie in there with a head on it. And then see if I can add some walls, and I might try to add a little bit of dirt around the edges here just so it doesn't look so weird. Because if you ever look at like a factory, the concrete is embedded in the dirt. It's not just raised above it 10 feet. So I'm going to lay down a little bit of dirt and see if I can't find a wall designer. Come up with some kind of wall design to put around this perimeter, because I do want it to kind of feel secured. It's fireworks. We need them to be secure. So let's see what we can figure out. First off, a little bit of grass around this outer edge here. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to get done real quick was just kind of put up like this outer perimeter wall. I think it looks pretty good. I think it's got a really good like industrial vibe to it. One thing I want to do real quick is see if I can't extend this pathway up to this opening where the front gate is, now that I know where my front gate is going to be. And maybe next we'll see if we can just add a quick little guard shack, see if we can hide a few skeletons in there. I think that'd be a cute little addition. So I'm going to see if I can't bring this pathway up a little bit and see if I can't add a little guard shack. I think that'd be cute. See if I can't put my little player head on it and maybe one of the other guys and get this place secure. All right, so we got our pathway done up, and please don't kill me. Come on. There it is. So we got our pathway done up. Just continued it on. Same style. I think it looks great. And then we come up to the guard shack. And where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, there's Jerry. And that is also Jerry. So they are our security personnel. Over here. There you go. See, that's Jerry. They can't escape. They're stuck in there forever. So what I want to see about doing now is I wouldn't mind trying to see if I can figure out how to make some kind of like copper thing right here that kind of looks like an engine, like it's powering this whole factory. I think that would be kind of cool. I don't know how to do that. We're gonna just wing it and hope it looks good. It'll probably look bad, but hey man, that's all about learn how to be a better builder. So we're gonna see about adding that little, almost like a motor, like a motor house. I don't know. I'm gonna go get some copper and we're gonna just start placing blocks and we're gonna see how it looks. Okay, so there's been a few changes. Okay, so we got our cute little guard shack, right? I think it's pretty cute. We'll get some zombies in there eventually. Have them guarding our little factory grounds. So here's where we got our motor house, okay? I really like these designs for these copper windows. I think those turned out great. This is the start of the actual fireworks factory. So the idea here is that this 5-wide opening is going to be where we have our redstone door. It's going to just come out from the ground. It's going to look great. And then around here, I did a little water tower and this little, I'm not sure what you'd call this, some kind of little smelting area. I don't know. I thought it just looked pretty good for the area that it was in. And then we have another copper window. Like I said, like the design. And then we have these pipes that are actually pulling water out of that ocean over there. And that will be what feeds what I plan to add a cog wheel, some kind of water wheel, to, quote unquote, power the factory. And then we've just kind of got some, I'm going to start adding a little bit of this. I want to try to see if I can find a gutter design. I haven't really come up with anything that can resemble a gutter. And then, I'd like to do another one over here. Have the water flow. No idea why there's a hole there. Have the water kind of flow back to, nature in that area. And then on the inside here, so we've got our control room, so you got some seats to watch production, and we're going to have our water wheel sitting in there nice and pretty. We've got the fence gates up as a little safety line so you don't just fall in. Added a red little walkway for, remind you where to walk. And then just some other little details. I think these end rods is kind of like LED lights. I think that's a really great touch. And then we've got our control center here for powering it and what you have you. So I was really happy with how this turned out. I do like this build. I like the palette. I like how it looks. So what I'm going to start working on now is I've kind of gotten the, I say base level for the actual fireworks factory. It's going to be open. It's going to be huge. The idea here is that this will be kind of like our storage area. And then we're going to have potentially shulker loaders here to make transporting the mass quantity of fireworks that this farm will produce away from here. So for selling purposes, because that's the idea here, is we're going to be selling these fireworks in the server. So what I want to kind of work on now is I want to try to find a better flooring design before I start adding in things on top of it. And it's going to be a bit of a pain in the butt to add a flooring later. So I think what I'm going to do next is, now that I've kind of got our wall up, and I did texture it with some mud, some deep slate tiles and bricks and just regular cobble deep slate. But now that I got that, I'm going to see if I can find, or if I can add in our little door. So I'm going to start with the door, and then we're going to go to the flooring, and then potentially seeing about adding a second layer to this, or a second level, and just see if we can kind of find a design or come up with a design that suits in with this whole factory area. But for the most part, I am extremely happy with how far we've come here so far. I'm going to need to figure out something with this roof. Looks kind of boring. Need like some AC units up here or something, but it looks kind of boring. But for the most part, made some pretty good progress on this week. It is officially Saturday. So I'm a little bit behind in terms of trying to get these projects done in a week, but I keep seeming to go bigger and bigger with these projects. So we're going to try to lock in a little bit. Got some overtime next week. So we're going to do as much as we can on this, and we're going to try to knock it out of the park. So, like I said, first thing I'm going to do, that door. We'll see what we can come up with. Okay, so I took to the creative world to try and figure out a way to make a 5x5 flush door work. And I think this is what I have come up with. So it's pretty much just a flying machine that runs both ways. So when I press this button, it'll send the signal up to these redstone dusts to the droppers. They'll change state. The observers will see it, and it'll send the sticky pistons down, push, 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 push. And then the exact same thing will happen the other way, all off of the same button. And so that'll send the door down. You can walk through, do what you got to do. You leave, you put the door up. Sweet. So we're going to put this in our factory, and we will texture it, and we will make it flush with the door, and we will make it look like there's no door to be seen. It's so satisfying. I love when things just work out. Nice. Okay, so I may have went a little too hard on trying to make a flush door. It kind of just looks ridiculous on the outside looking in at a door that literally isn't there. So I don't know how. I'm probably going to end up changing those blocks instead of being like the exact same as the exterior wall. And so that way, when you're walking up to it, you actually feel like you're walking up to a wall, because that's just smidge ridiculous. I mean, you can't even, if you didn't know what that button did, you wouldn't know where the door's at. And that's ridiculous. But I like it. I think that's a really clean, door. I'm happy I was able to figure something out. And now, that's right, flooring. We're going to see what kind of flooring we can come up with on the inside. And I think what's going to be interesting to see how it plays out is figuring out how I'm going to hide all this crap. But I feel like as it's in like an industrial area, I wonder if I could figure out a way to... Ooh, let me see if I can get another... Ooh, let me try something. Nice. So what I'm going to have to do now is figure out how to enclose all of this into some kind of fancy entrance or something, but you're going to be able to close the door behind you. Look at that. That's so cool. I don't know. It's kind of ugly from the back. I don't know how I'm going to hide that. This is going to be interesting. But for now, I want to see if I can find a nice floor plan for in here. Take up all these blocks here. And I don't know. We'll see what we can come up with. I said I kind of want this like partitioned out. And so I don't know if I'm going to end up putting a wall here. I kind of want it just to be like an open floor plan. I want you to be able to walk in and see everything that's going on. Kind of want over here to be like dry storage for paper, for gunpowder, you know, extra shulkers. I want to have this as like just some kind of storage area. And then I'm going to actually have the fireworks crafters. And it's going to be so cool over here in this area. And then I would love to be able to funnel them all into like some kind of array for like a shulker loader. Even if this never gets used, I want it to be useful. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do real quick is I want to see if I can find some like gray concrete, some gray concrete powder, and I want to make my pathway going to the motor house. Look at those lights coming through. They look so nice. And I want to make my pathway going from my motor house and then over to the front entrance of where the factory is going to be. I just want to get that out of the way. Maybe see if I can. I'm not going to worry about decorations till this bad boy is producing a little bit. But I want to start there. I want to get my pathway nice and pretty. Get out of here. Okay, so I don't hate it. I mean, that's one of the more interesting walkways I've ever done, but I think it's a good contrast, kind of showing the walkway to each individual area. Not too shabby. Let's see if we could start decorating this room just a hair before we move on. I kind of want to see if I can come up with a design for like some storage racks. I think I want to see what I can come up with. Okay, so you know what? I'm not too mad about that little. Oh, that's not gonna be. Okay. Ah, there it is. There it is. Okay, that's gonna be a problem right there. Let's move that here. Yes. Okay, cool. So that's not a bad little design for some storage racks. I think what I'm gonna do now is maybe take out the block directly under it and the ones surrounding it, and then make that light gray concrete, so it kind of looks like it's a little bit more reinforced. Kind of gives some abstract to the wall at least, but you know what? I like that, and we'll fill these up. I waxed these ones, and I kept the trap doors unwaxed so they can weather naturally, and I think that'll look really good once it starts getting like those green and blues. But I'm going to, I don't know what I could fill these up with to make it look like paper and sugarcane. Maybe just some red and green dyed blocks of some sort, maybe wool because it looks kind of textured. And then I can add like some chests and what's that other one? Barrels, just to kind of make it look like it's filled to the brim with supplies and stuff. So I'm going to see if I can go and get some of that gray concrete and change that floor up just a hair. Yeah, so we're really giving off industrial vibes now. That looks killer. So you got a little bit of reinforced gray concrete down here. Then you've got like, you know, a subtle little walkway. It's nothing too crazy. But then once all this is filled up to the brim and we get in some kind of like overhead LED lights like I did with the motor house, dude, that'll look awesome. So I'm going to see what I can do about finding some stuff to fill these shelves up. Here we go. So I've grabbed some green and white wool. I think that's something that looked better like at the top. So let's see if we can put like, you know, make it look like we've got these full up here of paper. You know? Then over here we'll do like, make it look like we got some sugar cane in stock. We'll add some little bit of everything here on this side. Let's go like that. And we got a spider trying to kill us. That's not cool. Go like that. Like that. Maybe?
I think that looks pretty cool. Gotta get over there. Let's see if we can get over there easily. Yep. Okay, cool. We got all kinds of materials in here. Let's go like that. And we still have one more over there. Actually, I think over here. So what I'm thinking is, you know, make it look like we've got other stuff on it. Be great if y'all could stop. Just stop. And we'll go like that. We're going to keep these unwaxed. Make it look like they're getting kind of weathered. And then we'll add that. And then we'll go up here and we'll go like that. And like, okay, that works. It's all going the same way. Like that. We'll add a copper chest here. And we'll add our last copper chest there. Boom, boom, barrel, 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 barrel. See if we can get up here and put a few more chests. Barrel. Yeah, that looks good. That's looking good. I like that. Makes it look like there's stuff on the shelves. Make it look a little busy. We've kind of got nothing going on in like this back area, so we'll go like chest, chest, barrel, barrel, chest, chest. Over here we'll go chest, barrel, 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 you won't guess, chest. Then we'll just add a few more like little singular ones over here. Add a double there, put a single there with a barrel. Look at that. Looks like we got some full... Please stop. Okay. Look at that. Now it's starting to look like a proper warehouse. Kind of looks like we got stacks of paper and stacks of sugar cane. I think that looks really nice. I feel like I need something for the walls. These walls look so boring. I don't think there's going to be really any windows on this first floor. I'm probably just going to end up doing like some accents on the outside with like spruce wood and stuff. But I think for just kind of randomly trying to make that work, that's nice. It looks busy. And so all this stuff's going to start getting weathered sooner or later. And we will have ourselves a nice... I'm going to put a few more like a barrel, barrel, barrel. You know, we got full shelves here. Chest? Yeah. That's nice.
You know, for just kind of slapping together a couple of arches, I think that turned out pretty nice. So what I'm thinking with this big one here is I want to see if I can kind of make like an awning. It kind of like stretches over. Maybe have a little grassy area, little park, little something for quote unquote employees to just kind of putz around with. And what I don't know if I want to do just yet is try to make these into circles, because I feel like that'd look really cool if it was like circular, and then have like a square window. I don't know. I don't know. I got to figure out something to do with the rest of this kind of exposed spruce logs, and I don't really know what. So for now, I'm gonna cap this half of the building off with a roof, almost kind of like the tree factory over there, where it's kind of got multiple slants. Probably just won't do as extreme of slants. I might just do like 4-block slants, just repeatedly going across. I feel like that's kind of like a warehouse factory type roof, and that way we can get kind of, you know, this section roofed off. And maybe start looking at moving into this section. I've kind of been bouncing off ideas with one of the other guys. I'm going to have a lot of the redstone stuff underground, but then I think I'm going to try to, you know, pipe in. So whenever rockets get crafted, they kind of get sent through the warehouse onto, you know, some kind of bubble elevator, goes up and then drops them into an array of shulker loaders. I feel like that'd be pretty cool. But right now, I just want to kind of focus on kind of capping this side off. I'm going to do one little section. I'm going to see how it turns out. Okay, so I finished up with this portion of the roof. I'm fairly happy with the way that it turned out. It kind of looks like a smaller you know, tree farm factory roof. It's a little bland. I feel like I need to add in a couple more like textured blocks. And I added this little area to kind of make it like a proper industrial roof. So you see if I can't add some AC units, a compressor. I don't know. But I wanted to leave a little space up here for a little bit of creativity. And as far as the roof goes, on this side, I kind of want to see if I can incorporate like a curved roof, maybe like 15 blocks high, almost with more of these andesite blocks. I kind of want to have it go up, over, and then come back down. All right, I feel like that would look really good. And then the only thing I got to worry about, like, after I get that is I need to figure out something to do with this gap here because that kind of just looks ugly. I'm looking over here. It's kind of just got, I mean, it's the same way, but I feel like this one's got more wood accents, and I feel like I need to do something with it. But for now, I'll leave it. Not super happy with how it looks, but we're going to see what we can do about that other side roof. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm liking. So what I think I'm going to do is, and I messed up, I should have done that with andesite blocks. But I'm going to go ahead and do that with the rest of the roof. And I'm probably not going to worry too much about like adding a window to the side there. But I definitely want to try to have like a pretty good sized glass window here just to let in like, you know, natural light and stuff. But I do like how we're going to have this arched section come into this flatter section with a little bit of depth on the roof over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up these andesite blocks and we'll see how well it turns out overall. Okay, so that definitely looks interesting. I think maybe I'll try to take some like these stripped spruce logs and place them across the top of that building too. And then as far as like over here, I might try to like sparsely add in some andesite and stone stairs to kind of give the roof a little bit of depth look to it. But then as far as like this black ring, oh, that's ugly. I'm hoping maybe once I start, you know, putting a little bit more detail in the top, it'll start looking a little better. And then I'll also have to try to figure out what I'm going to do about this gaping opening. So a lot of things to think about in the next few minutes. And I think I'm going to start with probably the stairs and slabs. See if I can't add a little bit of depth to the walls, just a smidge, and see how that turns out. Okay, so there we go. That's a little bit better of a look right there. Let me see if I can get up kind of high. See, now it kind of looks like it's a worn roof. It doesn't look like it's brand new. So that looks a heck of a lot better. And now what I want to see about doing is trying to add maybe, I want to start with, I guess, some kind of glass wall. But I'm not sure if I want to have it extend the entire way to, I might go like in one and then do some kind of border block. And then, you know, I'm not sure how I want to do this yet. But I'd like to start about here. So I might extend, no, I'm not going to extend the roof. I want there to be a lot of space inside there. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about this, see what I come up with. Okay, so standing from the inside, I really do kind of like having these stone brick wall arches. But I'm almost wondering if I could split the difference here and kind of make this like two separate fat arches and then have like 3 different colored stained glass, like red and white. I kind of like that idea. I'm gonna figure out where the center is. I don't know if this is even or not. You know what? I think it'll work. So if I bring both them arches like to meet here, I could put like a door to the roof, have some roof access right there. I like this idea. Okay, I'm gonna make some fat arches. I like it. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. We got 2 smaller arches. So what I'll do here is I'll put white stained glass in these large arches, and then kind of in this valley, I'll do red stained glass.
kind of showcase that it's, this is the place. This is where fireworks are made. Have a little bit of that red, white. We got some other colors. I'm gonna do the arches on that side, and we'll see about getting our stained glass together. And there we go. Finally getting just a smidge bit of life to this build. I think that red and white for the glass looks amazing, and the sunsets behind it look even better. What I want to see if I can figure out, if I can land, is it's still kind of like ugly with this gap here. I still don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I feel like I just need to bring it out with this deep slate palette, or maybe even I think I'm just gonna I don't know. I'm kind of at a loss for words for what I'm gonna do with it. It's just ugly. But I think what I want to do now is maybe take a break now that we're fully enclosed in the roof department. I need to plan out how I'm going to put up my firework contraptions. So I'm going to head over to the creative world, pull the schematics together, see how far down, because I'd kind of like to keep this up here clean. I'd like to just keep it with chests. And so all you got to do is come over, load some shulker unloaders up. And then underground, I want to add a piping network for all of those fireworks to come out of. And then somehow I'd like them to, kind of conjugate here, come up over with the piping system, and then see if I can bring it down, over, down, and then have, maybe a half a dozen shulker loaders sitting here. Okay, so that's a lot I'd like to get done. But I think first is Creative World and try to plan how many of these I'm going to have together. So we'll see how that looks. So we're in the Creative World right now. This is not my design for a firework crafter. But interesting. But what I'd like to do is kind of get like maybe 4 of these spaced out nicely underground. Well, not underground. Like what I want is I just want these 2 chests to be above ground. And then so all you've got to do is come up, drop your gunpowder and sugarcane. Your shulker unloaders will take care of unloading those shulkers full of stuff. They'll come through here into the top chest, which there goes your gunpowder, and there is your sugarcane. And then you've got your sugarcane going into this auto crafter, which turns into paper. It loads up the paper in this crafter, and then back here is where the gunpowder gets inputted. And what happens is when you turn it on, which I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to have this set up. That's going to be a mess. Turn it on, and lo and behold, you get rockets. So I'd like to see how I'm going to go about doing this. Maybe it'd be like have that at the top, have a second subfloor where you can actually turn on the machines, and then have the third floor, which is going to have all of our pipes. That was a mouthful. It's going to be a lot of stuff we're going to have to gather too, but we're going to see how it turns out. We're going to have to do a little bit of digging, a little bit of wall decorating, but I think it's going to be worth it. Okay, so I really like this layout here where we've got 5 of them set up. I've left me a little bit of space over here for like a 2 wide staircase going down. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe I'll have the staircase on this side because it makes a little bit more sense with the entrance there. It'd be a little bit quicker to get down. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move them over 2 or 3, whatever it is. But then this way underground, you go input all your stuff here. You run underground. Maybe you only want to work 1 machine. That's all you got enough, paper and gunpowder for. And then you can go downstairs, turn the machine on, and all the fireworks will go down there, up here, over, and then down, over, down, shulker loaders. Got it? Okay, so now that this little pit is dug, you can kind of see like what I'm aiming to do. So there's going to be 1, 2, 5. All right, that's how you count 1, 2, 5. There's going to be 5 auto rocket crafters here. And then what I'll do is once I figure out where they're going to spit out the rockets, I'm going to dig out this area over here, which I'll probably do that beforehand to make my life a little bit easier. But I'm going to have water streams shooting them all out into a stream. Go up this corner over here. Over, down, over, down, over. Shulker loader. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, actually, is I'm going to dig back probably another 5 or 6 blocks. Probably 6. Clear out this so there's a nice little opening, and especially try to figure out a way to, make getting to the switches a little bit easier, which I'll probably wire them all to one switch. And definitely do something about the floor and the walls, because these are about ugly as crap. And I'm thinking maybe I'll just try to do like reverse this. So I'll do like mud, deep slate tiles, bricks, cracked bricks, deep slate. I think doing reverse of that coming down would be even cooler. And then flooring, I don't know, maybe something red. But I'm going to start marking out this wall over here and see what I can come up with. All right, so now that we have our area cleared out, I'm kind of happy with it. Let's go start putting up these walls. I think I went a little too overkill on the polished deep slate, but I think other than that, the transition going from light to dark to semi-dark to lighter, I think that really works down here. So I need to figure out some kind of flooring design, because this kind of looks lame, and it'll probably incorporate some frog lights, something to kind of give a little bit more color down here without having to use too many like torches and other kind of boring light sources. And then I'll probably go up there and maybe do this same kind of transition with the deep slate up there, just to kind of cover it up, make it look a smidge better, even though there'll be some kind of floor here as well. So, I'm gonna see what I can do about the floor, because that is kind of ugly.
So what I'm thinking for the floor, kind of want to go like that, that. Nope, that's not how you place that. Nope, that's too many of those taken out. Nope. Nope. How do you place terracotta? Maybe. So I gotta face that wall. So it goes like that. And then this one need to go like that. And then this one goes here. And then the center will go red nether bricks. I feel like if I do that repeatedly, I feel like that looks really nice. And then in between each layer, we'll surround it with deep slate. Yeah, I like that. Gives it a little bit of depth, a little bit of red, a little bit of black. All right, we just got to do that a few more times. I think for something just a little bit more different than what I normally do, I don't think this looks too bad. It kind of gives it a little bit of depth, a little bit of red, black, kind of goes in with the theme. So what I'm going to actually have to do next is gather up all the resources for all 5 of these machines. That's kind of low-key gonna suck, but it's all in the game. So I'm gonna see how long it takes me to go get all that stuff, and we'll be right back.
And good morning, everybody. So now we finally have all of our ingredients, all of our blocks and redstone stuff and all kinds of other fun stuff to make these crafters. So let's get down to it.
All right, so it has been a long, probably about 3 days, working out all the kinks to these rocket crafters, but now that, so you can just go to any of them and turn them on. Not there. You can turn them on here, and then once they're turned on, they produce at a alarming rate. And so what I'm going to do now is they're all going to output right under here where this light blue stained glass is at. And the goal is to have them all join up in one stream, and then I'll have them all go into an array of shulker loaders. And maybe I'll have to try to see if I can find like a double hopper speed shulker loader, because having all 5 of these cooking at once is going to be ridiculous. So what I'm going to do now is see if I can figure out a water stream setup to make this work. I'm not really proficient in water streams, but I'm going to do my best. Holy crap, that was a lot of mess. Okay. I figured they were all out because we ran it for a few minutes and tore through all of our supply of everything. Anyway, I guess what I want to do now is see if I can figure out some kind of shulker loader, because it's kind of a pain to sit there and just load all of these into shulkers while it's running. But I don't know how to make a shulker loader, especially one that's going to be fast, because this thing tears it up pretty good. So what I'm going to do, see if I can find a good little shulker loader, or just put 10 of the regular ones and get these running again. One of the things I'm going to do next is going to be a massive sugarcane farm, because this thing, like, it tears through sugarcane and gunpowder like it's nothing. Like, this was way too ridiculous for what we needed it for. But we've already got a good gunpowder farm. We've got a creeper farm. Our mob farm is phenomenal, but our sugarcane farms are lacking. So that'll be next after I can ever get this project finished up. So next we're going to work on getting some of these shulker loaders, some kind of bubble column that's not going to go up the whole way. Just, actually, I'm going to go, I think I'm going to have to tear some of this out, this wall right here. And then I think I'm going to have to go and add in shulker loaders first, and then see about how I'm going to pipe it in. Okay. Well, as with the way every single one of these builds has gone so far today, I have to dig out even more for the shulker loaders. I finally found a design. It was by GeoGeoJGZ Z on YouTube. It's one of the better, more compact, tileable designs that I've found. So I put 12 of them together in the creative world, and we are going to dig all this out and make the walls look pretty, and we are going to plumb it in to where the rockets come out at. Gotta love digging. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to conceal as much of this as possible, because it's kind of just a booty ugly build. And I think what I'm thinking is, as I ram into the wall, have it so all you see, there's the door, have it so all you see up here is your double chests, which is where you input your empty shulkers. And then down there is where the collection is for the filled shulkers. But I think what I'm going to inevitably do is send that into a dropper that will drop the empty shulkers, and then maybe transport them like somewhere. So that way all you have to do is go up to the double chest full of, or probably a chest silo. That seems a little excessive, but some easy way to retrieve that. And then I'm just going to cover all these with, I'm going to cover this wall back up. I shouldn't have tore that whole thing down, but I'm going to cover this whole wall back up. And so all you see are your double chests. It'll be a nice little compact design. So now I've got to go and get everything to make this, and I will be back shortly. Holy crap. So the whole system, here we go. Here's our crafters. You flip it on, it starts crafting the rockets. It's going to go down the stream, over, up, and finally into the freaking loader. Here we go. That's what you want to see. So it's only one running, so it's going to keep up probably won't keep up too well. And then we have number 2, which obviously it's catching some because there's a hopper cooldown, and we have all the way down to 12. So I think once we're finally in a position where we can run all 5, this thing will be absolutely cooking. It's not my prettiest work to date. I'm not going to sit here and lie. But I think once I cover this whole wall, we can actually feel like we're getting somewhere, and it'll be a little bit prettier. Because I'm not super happy with how ugly it is. But it works. I'm very happy that it works. Look at that. Look at that. Look at all them rockets just coming down. Unlimited rockets, my friends. I'm glad this is done. This has been a week full of just crap trying to figure out all these systems and how to best get them together. Look, it's already backing up with 1. That's pretty bad. Yikes. I sure hope 12 of these will be okay. Oof. Man, we're already backing up to like the 5th one. That's pretty crazy. Man, I sure hope these shulker loaders keep up. I don't really feel like having to add more or just keeping this for looks and then just standing right there and picking them up and putting them in the shulkers. Oof. How far up are we? It's not too terrible, but I'm glad that none of them are getting lost in the mix. But anyway, that's it. Can finally at least get back to, covering this wall and get back to a little bit more decorating before I sit there and say that this build is good. But for now, I'll turn that off. And there's probably not going to be a big problem leaving it running. I don't think so. Yeah, because that's pretty gnarly. I already know this system is fixing to back up pretty badly. Yeah, we're already making it like the 6th one. Oof. Oof. Alright, it'd be alright. Actually, I kind of want to play cleanup a little bit because there is all kinds of crap scattered around this place. But that sounds like a later problem. Doesn't it look so pretty? See, we got a floor up here and maybe some guarding to keep people away from touching the redstone stuff. And all people have to do is come in here, input shulkers of gunpowder and sugarcane, and run it, and Bob's your uncle. I like it. I'd like to do something with this area. It kind of turns into a workshop of some sort. Let's see what I can figure out. Yeah, there is just all kinds of shulkers of everything everywhere. Oh well, let's procrastinate a little bit and try to decorate the interior. Because it is kind of ugly. Probably just do like a glass floor or something. Probably like a black stained glass. So you could at least see everything working under you. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do some black stained glass. And there we go. That's a little bit more appropriate of a flooring. Because now at least whenever you come in here and you go down there and you turn everything on, which I guess I'll see if I could figure out a way to put that switch up here. That way everything is pretty AFKable from this platform. Probably wouldn't be too hard. I could like, I don't know. I'll figure it out. I did a weird little like button with this one where I sent the power down to it. I'll just copy that and do it over here. But now at least when you're up here, you can kind of get a good eye and see everything that's happening, see which machines are running versus not running. And you'll be able to peek down there and see how your production is going. Which I'm pretty sure these are still unbacking up. That's kind of a bit ridiculous, but oh, I guess they're not. Okay. Just going to have to hope that that's going to be quick enough for all 5 of these running. But I think next video, we're going to try to see if we can expand the moss area and put a big old sugarcane farm down there. Because right now, that looks to be our biggest bottleneck is going to be sugarcane. Because we have some good gunpowder farms, but we don't really have a good sugarcane farm. So that'll be fun. And I guess, yeah, we're going to start working on this area because this is pretty boring. Nobody wants to walk into a empty little production area. So I'll see what I can figure out um, tomorrow at some point about making this kind of look more warehousey instead of just this open, boring area. And then as far as like the outside goes, I'd like to see if I could put some kind of like, I don't know what you'd call it, some kind of awning here and then have some kind of pavilion area. And, you know, we'll see what other little smaller details we can work on. Maybe some lamp posts so we don't just have torches lighting it up because that's kind of ugly. And, oh yeah, I wanted to look at adding, I don't know if I want to add windows anymore. Kind of just enjoying the look of it without it. But I think we're getting pretty close to calling this one done at least. I'll be very happy to start working on that shit. Really? Golly. Dang, dude. I'd be very happy to start working on something other than a warehouse. Get a big old farm going, but I'm very happy with this. Oh man, this is nice.
You know, one of the things that I don't ever brag about being able to do is decorate, but I think I kind of hit it out of the park with this one. Look at that. Added a nice little workshop, got a nice little furnace. Added some little trim around the top there. I'm going to set up a little shop here to sell some rockets. I know it's a little bit away from spawn, 20,000 blocks, whatever. But, you know, if anybody wants to come by and visit and they want to support the forge, we'll have a nice little place for them to buy the rockets from. But look at this. I think this turned out really good. I don't know what I'm going to do with this little weird area over here. I might just end up leaving it, but I think for the most part, I'm very happy with the way that this entire area turned out. This is just so nice. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Nice. So I think next, and hopefully for the last thing to do, is see if I can kind of spruce up this outdoor area because it kind of just looks like crap. So I don't know if I can somehow make like a nice red and white type of kind of ribbon awning coming off this area. Maybe using some like some more of those what is that, acacia blocks, I think so. Yeah, acacia. I don't know how to pronounce that. Maybe use some acacia for the red and some maybe marble for the white. Just kind of make it not look so boring, but just kind of let you know that, you know, if the glass up there didn't give it away. But this is where our rockets are crafted. So I'm going to see if I can somehow make that look good without making it overly gaudy and ugly. So I'm going to see what I can come up with. But for the most part, I'm really liking how all this is coming together. So now all you got to do is come over here, drop in your sugar cane and your gunpowder. I'm still going to need to work on wiring that up here somewhere, maybe to see if I can't kind of make it fit in somewhere. And then, yeah, see about starting to finish up this build. It has been a long time coming. But yeah, I guess next thing is at least work on this awning. Holy cow. So after, a good 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I feel like I can finally say that this area is, for the most part, done. I think I might come back and, you know, once I get a little bit more inspiration and try to kind of decorate these empty areas. I'm not sure with what right now. I kind of want to just pause this one just for the time being and maybe go start working on a few other farms. Like I know soon I need to work on a sugarcane farm because I kind of underestimated how much sugarcane this thing will absolutely eat through. So that's going to be another major farm that's going to happen soon. I would also like to get a wool farm going. I'd like to get a pretty large wool farm going just because I want to start using more colorful blocks. Like I feel like for my first awning, I think I'd call this an awning. I like it. It adds some color. It adds some detail to the world. I added this nice little sign. Make sure people know where the fireworks are getting made at. And I've kind of made this in just like a little Nice little chill area. I like it. I think it came out really clean. Got a little sit down area. We can just, oh, maybe not. There we go. Just pop a squat and hang out by the fire. But I'd like to start working on something else. We're going to probably go back to the moss farm area for a little bit. I really have fallen in love with that area. And I'd like to finish the walls in there. And I would like to start clearing out the next area because I think I'm going to just shove the sugarcane farm and the large wool farm down there. I'm going to try to get one of every sheep color, maybe multiple, and have a nice little farm with that. But for now, of course, to the next video, you know, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see. I'm very excited to hear other people's thoughts on what they'd like to see with this world. But I would like to think that this entire, you know, factory district is actually turning out pretty nice. It's finally feeling like it's coming together, and we're expanding, and it's just looking so good. These blocks back here are finally starting to oxidize a lot. I think that's finally giving it a nice little weathered look. I like it. I like it. I like this whole area. But heading over to the moss farm now, and we are going to see about expanding that. We're going to make it nicer. We're going to finish out these walls in here. We're going to dig it out. We're going to add our sugarcane farm. We're going to add our wool farm. We're going to finish off these walls. That's going to be a huge goal. Let's finish off these walls. It kind of looks ugly that the walls don't start until halfway down. But anyway, guys, we'll see you soon.